tall could we build?
Building skyscrapers in real life is an intense process. You need a full team in order to make a project like that come together. You need engineers, you need architects, you need land surveyors, city planners, developers, project managers, cement layers, welders, excavators, suppliers, transportation specialists, plumbers, electricians, elevator mechanics, and construction workers, just to name a few. If you're going to build the world's tallest tower, you're going to need a good team at your back. You also are going to need to decide what kind of materials we want to use.
What does the material matter?
Oh, the material matters. It will definitely affect how tall you can build. People love stacking stuff up. Here's the world's tallest towers made of Legos, of playing cards, and of soda cans. Sure, you can stack anything up that you'd like, but if you want to have a good, strong building, you're going to need a material that works well for you. For most of human history, we've used wood, stone, and mud bricks.
Yay! Wood seems easy to build with.
Let's do an experiment to see how easy it actually is to build with wood. For this week's experiment, we're going to be building some toothpick towers using toothpicks and marshmallows. We're going to see who can build the tallest tower. But to keep things fair, we each get 25 toothpicks and up to 25 marshmallows. If you'd like to try along at home, please be our guest. Send us pictures if you can beat our records. Everything started off well enough, but some structures had trouble standing. For that reason, we made it a rule that you couldn't measure the tower unless it had stood for 30 seconds straight. You can only play with marshmallows for so long before the temptation to have a marshmallow fight begins. Looks like our highest measurement was just a little over 6 inches. Our favorite part? Eating the marshmallows at the end.
Wood was a lot harder to build with than I thought. What is the tallest wooden building in the world?
This one, the Ascent MKE building in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's 25 stories tall and reaches a height of 284 feet.
That does not look like it's made out of wood.
I agree. Even though the outside looks like it's covered in paneling and glass, the inside is mostly wood for the foundation, so we're counting it.
What about stone?
The tallest stone building is the Philadelphia City Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It stands about twice as tall as the tallest wooden building at 548 feet tall.
These buildings sound very tall, but they aren't nearly as tall as the tallest building in the world, right?
Not even close. Here's a scale comparison of the two buildings that we've looked at compared to the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa is an incredible 2,722 feet tall.
How are they able to build that tall?
We could only build that tall because we had an outstanding material. Steel. Some materials are much better suited for building than others. The characteristic that we want to look at is a material's compression strength. Compression strength measures how much the material can be squished before it breaks. There are many forces that act on a building, but this is the one we're going to focus on in this video to simplify things.
So steel is the best material to build with.
Steel is a great material. It has great compression strength, great tensile strength, which is just how resistant it is to being torn apart. It also is lightweight and is really cheap compared to other materials. But from a theoretical standpoint, it is not the strongest.
What's stronger than steel?
Check out this chart of compression strength that we made. On our list, steel ranks 4th. Its compression strength is its strongest at 1.5 gigapascals.
It's in 3rd place.
Tungsten is 3rd on the list. You may have heard of it. It's a dense metal that's extremely strong. It can withstand the very highest temperatures of all of the metals. As you can see, at 3.5 gigapascals, tungsten is almost 3 times stronger to compression than steel. That means it could support a much heavier weight.
Did they use tungsten in the Burj Khalifa?
No, they did not use any tungsten in the Burj Khalifa. Though it can withstand a higher compression strength, it has other properties that make it a little bit less desirable. For one thing, it's very brittle. It will shatter if it's hit hard enough with an impact. It's also quite a bit heavier than steel, almost 3 times the weight. But most importantly, it's a lot more expensive. Tungsten costs over $80,000 per ton, while steel averages around $1,000.
Tungsten is only in 3rd,
But it's so strong. What's in 2nd?
Coming in second is diamond. Diamonds are incredibly resilient. They have amazing compression strength. They're used in all sorts of industrial and commercial applications. They also can cut through almost any material. When it comes to compression strength, diamonds are much better than steel or tungsten. Look at the jump! Diamonds are 20 times better at compression. What an amazing increase! But it even gets better as a building material. It's half as dense as steel, so it would weigh less than half the weight. This lighter weight allows for much taller and larger structures.
Why don't we build with diamonds?
Need I say more? Do you remember how steel was costing $1,000 per ton and tungsten around $80,000 per ton? Well, even if you were to use the cheap industrial grade diamonds, 1 ton would cost you $15,875,000. That's over 15,000 times more expensive than steel. Good luck getting that budget approved. But even if we were to ignore the cost, just say we have infinite money, there's still a lot of problems. The problem is that to get the full strength of diamonds, the structure needs to be grown in a crystal lattice free of impurities. Now we can grow lab diamonds, but the largest we've ever made was 155 carats. That would take 14 and a half of those just to add up to a single pound of weight. We aren't even remotely close to making 1 ton, let alone thousands of tons of material that skyscrapers can require.
I guess we're gonna have to leave building with diamonds in Minecraft.
What's number 1 on the list?
And the number 1 on our list is netherite. No, I'm kidding. That's a Minecraft joke. The real number 1 material is Lonsdaleite. Lonsdaleite.
I was way off.
A material that I would bet the majority of you have never heard of.
What's lobsterite?
Lonsdaleite is one of the absolute strongest materials we've ever found on the Earth. It's a diamond, but the carbon that make up its crystals are formed into hexagon patterns instead of cubes, which makes it even stronger. Lonsdaleite takes a tremendous amount of pressure and energy to create. Much, much more than even diamonds. The only known way that they naturally form is from meteor strikes.
Meteor strikes?
Yes, meteor strikes. When carbon-rich meteors smash into the Earth, the energy released can sometimes create tiny Lonsdaleite crystals. These crystals have absolutely insane compression strength. They top the chart at a staggering 152 gigapascals. This is substantially stronger than an ordinary diamond and has over 100 times the compression strength of steel. Not only are they considerably stronger than regular diamond, they're also even a little bit less dense, meaning lighter. You could build a truly colossal structure with Lonsdaleite, but there's always a catch.
What are the downsides?
How are you going to know where the meteors are going to strike? It's almost impossible to predict. And even worse, not every meteor strike creates Lonsdaleite. It's actually a small fraction of them. Compounding that issue, the biggest fragments we've ever found measure a pitiful single micron long. That's 1/1,000,000th of a meter long. There's currently no way to manufacture this material, let alone construct a megastructure using tens of thousands of tons of it.
How much would it cost?
Lonsdaleite are purer, rarer, and stronger than traditional diamond. You know that's going to make it a lot more expensive too.
Sounds like we found the strongest materials. What's next?
Now that we've talked about our materials, we're going to talk about what's worked well for the Burj Khalifa and apply it to our design. One of the reasons the Burj Khalifa is able to go so high into the air is the use of an engineering technique called a buttressed core. Viewed from above, the Burj Khalifa has a sort of ninja star-like appearance, with 3 spear-like points fanning out from the center. William Baker, one of the leading engineers that designed the Burj Khalifa, believes that this design could be expanded to make a much taller tower. He said he believes that a buttressed core could easily support a design that went over a mile tall.
Over a mile? That's so tall!
That is tall. However, that's just the number we get using steel, the weakest material we've considered on our chart. If, and it's a very big if
is good.
these super materials could scale in accordance to their compression strength and were obtainable in the mind-boggling scales needed, it's theoretically possible to build much higher. Do you remember how diamond had 40 times the compressive strength and only half the weight of steel? With that in mind, it in theory could support a tower 80 times taller, which in this case, using Baker's numbers, it would be 80 miles tall. But diamond wasn't even the strongest thing on our list. Lon's Delight is even considerably stronger than your average diamond. Using the compression strength on our chart, it would easily pass 100 miles in height, possibly even get close to 200 miles tall. A massive grain of salt here. We're just talking about the ability of these materials to support weight, because in the real world, there's a lot of forces acting on a building. You have to worry about how strong is the foundation, the bedrock beneath it. You have to worry about earthquakes. You have to worry about the wind. You have to worry about torsion and twisting forces on the building. You have to worry about shearing forces. You have to worry about what kinds of loads people are going to put on each floor. There's a reason that engineers have a job. It's very complicated. It is a fun deep dive into what a material could do and just how much stronger than steel some of these materials actually are. So in summary, building a structure like this is going to be extremely difficult. It's going to require thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even more individuals that have a concerted effort to build this megastructure. It's also going to take a great deal of money. So much money. So much money. However, it's really cool to think that with our current technology and materials, we could make a much taller building than the Burj Khalifa. It's amazing to think that if we could figure out how to harness the strongest materials we've encountered, we possibly could build structures passing the 100-mile in height mark. We love answering your questions too, though. If you have one that you want us to answer and think it would make a good video, ask us in the comment section on any of our videos. We'll read them, and we definitely will consider them for future videos. We would love it if you'd give us a like and a subscription. That would mean the world to us. In the meanwhile, enjoy our other videos where we answer fun questions like, could you fit into a Pokeball? Yeah, you're gonna get it, don't worry.
I can't remember.
So still is the... Did they use tongue?
Okay. Tungsten. Not tongue skin. I've heard it both ways.
Did they use tungsten? Did they use tungsten?
Tungsten.
Tungsten. Did they use tungsten? Tungsten.